situated. Hi, everybody. Sorry for coming on so early. So late. And I am just very late. Okay, so let's get started. Um, Sorry, I should have had all that done before, but I don't have a big staff. I'm just doing this late at night, burning the midnight oil every night by myself, and it's a good to not by myself. I have you. I have Team Fine Richard Halliday, which is huge, but this is my little area of operation. Um, so many things are going on behind the scene that has to be done in order to, we gave our first notice of intent for legal action. And to do that, you have to do a lot of work behind the scenes. And so a lot of letters, and today is no exception on that. Everyday letters to build up the case, to really what it's done this last year and a half, when we really started pushing all the letters, was get a clear picture of who's who, in the institutional support, to see who would give us the institutional support and who had something to hide. So it has been very revealing, when it comes to Leilani Hart and Bob Moore on, what institutions are willing to help the Vanessa Guillen First Absent Soldiers family, the family of a missing soldier. Um, Absolutely, it has been unbelievable the amount of support that we have gotten. When it comes to the institutions, it's been very interesting because, as many of you know, there are people in our government, in our agencies that are up to no good and that are compromised and they're corrupted, and they've sold their soul, and so it's very clear that that we've had to separate them out. And now, and I always sound a little negative, but on this, I guess, Saturday night, I need to see. Let's see if I'm on Facebook. I need to say some positive things about what we have discovered with all of our letters. A lot of letters, a lot of FOIA's open records requests and responses to those, and reaching out, and it's really amazing get putting all of this together. And I just had to share it with you all because um, so many times I come on here and I'm very negative about the information that is being withheld from us, and that is true. There is information being withheld from us illegally. We should absolutely legally receive that information. But we also are gathering lots and lots of information, and we do have institutional support providing us information, and that is um, really good. I just tend to complain, about the Major General um, Eisenhower's and Sean Bernabe's and the PP McGee's and the CPS, right? But because Richard's case is connected with the August 3rd, which is Dallas Hart's birthday, August 3rd, 2019 Walmart mass shooting case, we are getting lots and lots of information, and it's helping us, of course, with Richard's case, with just with mortuary affairs, just with the medical examiner, just looking at the medical examiner and his history which is so questionable. I think it's going to shock a lot of people because a medical examiner is in the same box as judges. If I'm separating, if I'm sorting out, oh, my snowman fell. I have a little snowman here. See, let's see if I can. I have a little snowman there. Fell. It's up there. It's to my husband. It says, let's see if I can get it. You melt my heart. I gave that to my husband. Um, I have the best husband. So, anyway, I lost my train of thought now. But we have given these letters um, because of asking these for open records and asking the institutions for information regarding the August 3rd, 2009 Walmart mass shooting case because it has the same perpetrators. Because we absolutely believe that Patrick Crucius had help. I even believe at this point, with the information that we are getting because of witnesses at the very beginning of this, that the media has not expanded on or shared, which is, very like the media today to withhold information. But because we have people there in El Paso, and I've been talking to them on the phone. When the in 2019, after the mass shooting happened, there were many witnesses, not just one, many, dozens. I don't know if it's a dozen. I shouldn't say it's a dozen. I'm saying it's many. Many witnesses said there was more than one shooter. Many. And at this point, with what I know, I believe there was more than one shooter. I don't think Patrick Crucius acted alone. I think that this was orchestrated as um, a political agenda. I think it was internal. I think it was an internal murder, really mass murder to further a political agenda, to further a business plan. Um, and, there's not really a doubt in my mind with everything that I have. And I don't know if that's breaking news for you, but I think that there's a lot of people, because of who I've been talking with, I think a lot of people have suspected that this was an organized, orchestrated crime, massive crime, and that there were definitely more people involved than just Patrick Crucius, that he did not act alone. And that uh, definitely is what I suspect because of the many people that are connected to the Patrick Crucius Walmart case, including Leilani Hart, including Bob Moore. Bob Moore has inserted himself into the Patrick Crucius case, the August 3rd, which is Dallas Hart's birthday, 2019. But Bob Moore of El Paso Matters has inserted himself into the legal process of that case. He is the only media that has done so. And that really speaks volumes to us because of we know the relationships because of our inner circle information that we have gotten, his relationship to key people. I think if we want to know where to find Richard's remains, we're supposed to talk to Deborah Sarah West. Deborah Sarah West, and Bob Moore's inserting himself into this case and his relationship with Felix Valenzuela, Patrick Crucius's defense attorney, and then also his relationship with John Briggs. Absolutely, John Briggs and Bill Hicks. They all have worked together for years and years. They all know each other, including you have the prosecutors and then you have Felix Valenzuela, and they're all friends, y'all. They're all friends. They all work together. And um, and I just think in this case, it's clearly botched cases. Clearly, um, to prolong the cases so that the taxpayers could be milked for as long as they could get away with it, of millions and millions of dollars. And let me see, I'm on here. Thank you so much. I see Patty, I see Mitzi, I see Madine. And I would say that Tavita Nusa, the CID agent that lost his badge, has a huge role to play in both cases. Both cases. That is my suspicion, with Leilani Hart, with James Hart, with Dallas Hart. And I've been making some notes on everything that from people that I've talked to, and Team Find Richard Halliday that is out there. I would like to know if you have heard the same as I have, that there were witnesses that said there were more people involved in the shooting in the Walmart, that it was not just Patrick Crusius acting alone. And you know, Patrick Crusius, we have confirmed now, and the media doesn't even cover it. They do say that he had a mental condition, some kind of mental condition, but yet they never could plead insanity. Because if you're autistic, you cannot plead insanity. Okay, you can say I have a mental brain condition. Something in those regards is what I was reading. But and why is this important? Because the same perpetrators that aided and abetted, in my opinion, that I suspect helped Patrick Crusius carry out this and orchestrated the August 3rd, which is Dallas Hart's birthday, 2019 mass shooting. 23 people killed. 23, and I believe 20 injured. It might be a little more than 20, but I believe 20 people injured. And it would be very interesting to hear their witness testimonies, those that survived it. And yet, it is hushed hushed. Why is it a hush hush? Why is it another Nadal Bayim? Shh, shh. You know, this should not be a hush hush. Every one of those victims that was in the Walmart on that day should be able to talk to the media about what they saw, what they heard, how many weapons did they suspect, how many, because in order to think about it, in order to kill 23 people and injure 20 people, okay, you have to shoot off a lot of bullets, okay. Right there, if you are like the perfect shot, or that would take 43 rounds, right? But there were many more. And what I've been reading is that there were about 1,000 rounds shot. Now, I don't know if I'm right about that. So if anyone else has heard anything about how many rounds, if it if it is correct what I have read, that they are approximating 1,000 rounds that were shot. That's a lot of rounds. Okay, that's a lot of rounds. And what kind of weapons that they came from. Um, but I can tell you this from experience of shooting weapons myself. Um, it would not be 43 bullets for 40, 23 fatal and 20 to injure, right? And just the whole timing. There are botched reports of the timeline, that the timeline and tampering of evidence of the pictures and the timeline. And, it's just so sloppy. First grade work. And then you look at who was in charge, and the main person in charge, because you have to understand, we they are on their 10th prosecutor now. Their ninth prosecutor, head prosecutor for the case, just resigned and pointed her finger at Bill Hicks and John Briggs and said, "This is a political hit job. This is a political machine. It's all for politics. And if it's all for politics, then it is to milk the taxpayers for whatever they have, and they don't want to get to justice. They don't want to do this clean." And she says that they don't want to do it clean. They want to leave it in pieces. They want to leave the case in pieces so that you could never put together the uh, the scene of it, right? So that you could not see it. If you put the pieces together, the picture, what happened, comes into focus. And they want to keep you blind. They want to keep me blind and all of us blind to these crimes. And that's how the criminals get away with a mass murder. And one of the uh, uh, odd things about this whole thing with Patrick Crusius is that he's so calm. He's never shaken. He's never, like his chin doesn't go like this, or, can you imagine if you've seen, because if you know what happened in that Walmart, okay? Any normal human being would have jerks and stuff like that in just being in the presence in a court talking about that event, bringing all of those scenes that you had in your mind again into your conscience. And uh, but he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. He is calm. He even looks peaceful, and that is not normal. And it really makes me suspect. And the way he is, even being autistic, it makes me suspect of what's going on with Patrick Crusius. Because even someone that's a sociopath, someone that is full of hate crime, he would look hateful. Because hate um, shows with the tension in your face and your eyes and the every you can tell with body language when someone is filled with hate. And Patrick Crusius does not. Now, is he guilty? He was found guilty, and he was given the punishment of 90 life sentences that he needs to serve back to back. But because the cases are botched, um, John Briggs, who has been there the whole time, okay, and Loretta Lynn Hewitt has absolutely pointed her finger at him and has said he wants to leave this in pieces. So he has botched this case with Bill Hicks, um, with really, uh, his team. That's what this is not my words. This is what Loretta Lynn Hewitt is saying. And to why that my question is, why would John Briggs, what is John Briggs up to? Because any decent man would not want to leave this in pieces and would not want to blindfold the public, would not want to not share what the witnesses had to say. And all this stuff with, oh, we don't want to taint the pool and all of that. Y'all, they use the media all the time, you know. So let's hear what the witnesses, what the victims that survived it have to say. And, and let's look into UTEP or New Mexico State University or Texas Tech, um, or Park University. Let's look into those universities and see if there was a program for Patrick Crusius and if there were any other people in those programs with Patrick Crusius that were in some kind of autistic training or program. It would be very, very interesting who is focusing on autistic patients, what his background was. Because, being in his early 20s, absolutely, and I know that he had an apartment, I think, in San Antonio, and I know that he, uh, went to a different school, this other school, but I just, I just think that there needs to be an investigation that we can trust because we cannot trust the CID. And why do I want it? Because when we find out who helped Patrick Crusius, we will find out who murdered Richard, who organized it, who orchestrated his the hit job of the DUI that was dismissed. We have signatures in those DUI documents that give us some very key people, and we can match those up. And also, um, the whole retaliation. Uh, what did Michael Roddick have to do with all this? What did Patrick, David Park have to do with all this? What did Jay Paulin have to do with all this? Did Jay Paulin have any connections with the Walmart after he retired? That would be a big question for me because of the jobs that he was trying to pursue. And Walmart sells weapons, right? And, you know, who was in charge of the arms room? Well, Dallas Hart, as a platoon leader, would have access to the arms room, and so would um, Thomas Kane. Thomas Kane would have access. And who was Tavita Nusa to Dallas Hart? Because Dallas Hart told us that he did not know Tavita. And I knew that he was not telling the truth, that his nose was getting very long at that moment because he absolutely, we have screenshots and everything that he knows Tavita Nusa. Okay. And then his mother was having an affair with Tavita Nusa, and his father even admitted that they were family, they were cousins, um, and that he knew who Tavita Nusa was. And yeah, so Tavita Nusa, the CID special agent that lost his badge and was tampering into Richard's files and also giving to Leilani Hart unauthorized access to the files, is, very telling. And then the other person here is Bob Moore to work alongside them to hinder and sabotage the search for Richard, with the media. Even though he's never covered Richard in the media, but he saw to it to insert himself legally into the Patrick Crusius case and then also to tamper with the investigation of Richard in a very extreme way. In a very extreme way. Um, yeah, so I wanted to say, yeah, it looks like, I would really look at the weapons. Um, it seems like there was, of course, the narcotics trafficking. And if Patrick Crucius was on drugs, where did he get his drugs? And was he in the military? Did he have anything to do with Delta Battery 143, ADA? Did he have anything to do with those in the unit? These are all very important questions that need to be asked. Uh, because if he's military trained, or let's say he even played football, then he would, have some kind of similarity with Dallas Hart. But Dallas Hart, Tavita Nusa, James Hart, Leilani Hart, they all need to be investigated with so many others. I mean, I'm leaving out so many, and I don't mean to. It's just this case is so has so many facets to it that I could be here all night listing off all the different suspects. But when it comes to Patrick Crucius and uh, Richard's case, I just want to mention those real uh, the very common suspects that keep coming up. So I think I covered. Oh, tomorrow, Monday, Pray Monday. Um, there is supposed to be a big story coming out. And Bob Moore was contacted about the story. So, please pray that that happens because that's very, very important um, to keep Richard's name alive, to keep him out there. It's very, very important because there's so much going on behind the scenes, and really, it's all meaningless unless we get the public support. And we're almost at 4,000 on TikTok. We've been at 4,300 on Facebook. We're at over 900 on Rumble and 40 something on X. I don't really post so much on X, and I need to on Twitter. So the more people that we reach out to, um, the more that we can drive those that are in the agencies, be it, good people or bad people. It doesn't matter. If they're driven, they have to do it. And some are harder to drive than others, right? But it is the mass of people that will help us drive them to do their duty and admit um, when they're wrong. So I think that that's very, very important because we do have the IRS confirming that they are looking into and investigating Bob Moore of El Paso Matters. We do have a journalist that is giving us support. We do have um, certain people in the Department of Justice now giving us support, which is huge. We do have whistleblower support, like you've seen this last week. Um, and of course, the inner city support, all of y'all support is it's huge. So thank you so much, everyone. God bless you, and I will be back tomorrow unless you have a question. Um, because I did ask about the truck with the shaved handles and Richard's car because I believe they're lying to us about Richard's car. We put up Richard's Christmas tree today. It's been up, but I took a picture of it. So that's always so emotional, but it is very, very important to remember because the narrative that they were feeding us was that Richard was an atheist. That was the first thing that dirty agent Marlon Soto told us that, oh yeah, he was an atheist, and then we get his few boxes back. What is it? 3, 4 boxes back, because one was not in good shape. They just don't. They have no honor and integrity. These leaders. And I know some other stories of other families, but we get this box back, and in the larger box is Richard's Christmas tree with decorations. And, you know, so it's like, excuse me, did you see this? Marlon Soto, where are you getting your information, you dirty agent? Where are you getting your information, you dirty, dirty agent? From Tavita Nusa? From Leilani Hart? From Jay Paulin? From Jay Paulin's friend there? Are you getting it from Bob Moore? Are you getting it from Felix Valenzuela? Are you getting it from John Briggs? Is that where you're getting your marching orders to say that Richard was an atheist, you dirty agent? And then we open up a box and he has his Christmas tree in there. He has his Christmas tree. Sorry. Sorry. Uh, you know, and this was early, early on. And we're just like, what is going, and now we know he was a dirty agent. He is a dirty agent. And I'm sorry, El Pasoans. I've been trying very, very hard. Rob and I, Team Find Richard Halliday, has been trying very, very hard to get that man arrested. He needs to be arrested. But guess what? He's still there in the CID as a civilian. As a civilian, they hired him. They hired him in the CID. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? These people are one big crime, one big crime. And sorry, I just got on a tangent there because Marlon Soto, wow, wow, what a dirty agent. Okay, and you don't look for a missing soldier by smearing the soldier, right? That's not how you do it. So, what did he have in it? Is he into prostitution? Because of Leilani Hart? Is that what he's doing? What is going on? He needs to be investigated. That's all that, and I just can't even tell you the distress, the absolute horror that man caused in sabotaging Richard's case during this stupid COVID, where he's like, "Well, I'm essential. I'm essential." Oh yeah, you're essential. Wow, that's what they told you. That's why you think you can be a criminal. He participated in the crimes against humanity. I saw it with my own eyes and bragged that he was essential. Got all these small business owners losing their livelihoods, and he thinks he's so hot to trot, saying he's essential while he's a dirty agent with taxpayers' money. Saying a missing soldier to the missing soldier's mother, well, he's an atheist. When they have combed through our entire file and know exactly who we are, and know that our faith plays a huge role in our life, and so that was a psyop. That was him using his training that was paid for with taxpayers' money to hurt the family of a missing soldier. That's what that was. That's how dirty this guy is. Sorry, I had a, yeah, terrible. And the whole mountain, oh, there's so many things. Did Marlon Soto, you know, talk to Veronica Escobar about the mountain? Or what about Danae? What about his suspected colluding with Danae Katzen? Took, here she is interfering in a missing soldier's case, giving false information, and dirty agent Marlon Soto is like, I don't know, what about, I say, haven't you interviewed her? Oh no, we haven't. For a month, and I have videos to prove it. Videos to prove it. Well, now I know why. Now we all know why, right? We know why that he dragged his feet with Danae Katzen. He's a dirty agent. And Danae, don't forget, um, well, we have rumors that she made a plea deal. We want to know what the plea deal is all about. She's making plea deals. Jay Pollin's making a plea deal. Yeah, so it's with these judges. It's with, all shh, let's seal this case. Let's keep it quiet. But you know what? You can't keep that kind of criminality and lies quiet. You just can't. It's going to come out. So, yeah. And I didn't mean to go off on that. I wanted to be very positive tonight. I have it here. Be positive. We're getting the governor's support. We're getting press support. We're getting Department of Justice support. We're getting whistleblower support. We're getting journalists support. We're getting inner circle support. Absolutely, something has changed, and it's changed for the better. I think that um, we have to be very, very vigilant and take all of the blessings that God is giving us through this and run with it and pass it forward like you have a ball in your hand, and pass it forward, pass it to the right people that can really um, really get us accountability. So during this Christmas season, where we've already put in our first notice of intent to legal action, and we're going to keep doing it. And then 2024 will be a very interesting year, and it is time consuming. It's risky. It's this. It's that. But you know what? Uh, it's not just Richard that they did this to. It's not just Richard that they orchestrated a hit job on, a code red, at continuously, severely, and then arrested him illegally. They kidnapped him under the guise of an arrest, and um, and tortured him and brutally murdered him. It's not just Richard. Juarez is over 1,100 brutal murders for 2023 already. El Paso's becoming unsafe, and it shouldn't be that way. You had an HSI agent, that's a federal agent, Homeland Security agent, in a shootout with cartel in a Whataburger. So, of course, we are not going to give up. Of course, we have to put on the coat of courage, pray to God for courage, read everything about courage, listen to every general's speech to their soldiers about courage that's in history, and in good movies, and um, Crispin's Day, and Lord of the Rings has a good one, and of course Patton, of course, MacArthur, whoever has inspirational um, speeches that can, uh, grow your courage, because 85,000 unaccounted for children, and where are they? Vanished children. Where are they? What are they doing with them? We have pedophilia going rampant. We have worse than pedophilia going on right now. Worse than pedophilia. Worse things that they want from these children that they traffic. And yeah, so we have to be courageous. And thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much for being whistleblowers, being witnesses, being there for us during the darkest time of all of this. And we're just really appreciate it. So please have a happy third Advent, Rose Sunday. We just got into it 4 minutes now, into Rose Sunday of Advent. And, praise God for this change, this reset that's coming. Um, and and I don't know, there's different views on if it's good or bad, but in our case right now, with all the support coming in, that in order that we could even put out a notice, because a year ago there's no way we could have even put out a notice for legal intent, intent for legal action. Something has changed, and so we have a lot of people on our side. We even were contacted by a representative. Um, that's really good news. So thank you so much. God bless all of you, and I will be back tomorrow.